Their duties included directing the auxiliary boards in their respective areas, consulting and collaborating with national spiritual assemblies, and keeping the Hands of the Cause and the Universal House of Justice informed of the condition of the cause in their areas. Thus, the Hands of the Cause were free to operate on an intercontinental level, to undertake special missions on behalf of the House of Justice, and to assist in the formation of the International Teaching Centre in the Holy Land, as had been anticipated in the Guardian's writings. A 5-year term of office was later established for the councillors, and their numbers were increased significantly. The historic announcement of the formation of the International Teaching Centre was made to the Baha'i world in 1973. All Hands of the Cause, wherever they resided, were members of this institution and were to participate fully in its deliberations whenever they were present in the Holy Land. The Teaching Centre, which was composed of the nucleus of Hands residing in the Holy Land, included Amatul Baha Ruhiya Khanum, Abul Qasim Faizi, Ali Akbar Furutan, Paul Haney, and 3 councillors appointed to this body, Hooper Dunbar, Florence Mabry, and Aziz Yazdi.
When the International Teaching Centre was inaugurated, 17 Hands of the Cause were still living. They are shown here with the members of the House of Justice in 1973. As the appointment of Hands of the Cause was reserved only for the Guardian, after the passing of these heroic souls, there would be no further Hands. But their dual function of propagation and protection would continue into the future, through the International Teaching Centre and the Continental Boards of Councillors, appointed by the Universal House of Justice. On the occasion of the 100th anniversary of the Ascension of Baha'u'llah and of the initiation of his covenant in May 1992, 3 Hands of the Cause were still living. Here they are seen with members of the Universal House of Justice and representatives of Baha'i communities from every land. In November of that same year, the Hands joined some 30,000 fellow Baha'is from all corners of the world for the Second World Congress.
The founder of the Baha'i faith, who was a prisoner and an exile, said, "I desire but the good of the world and the happiness of the nations." And I think that this is a very, very important and singularly neglected statement of Baha'u'llah. And I think that we should carry out, as Baha'is, more of that sense of joy, of assurance, of happiness. All right, the immediate future is very dark, but we see the distant future, and it's very, very bright.
Remaining link with the family of the Master, Abdul Baha. Only two elderly and valiant hands of the cause now remained, and the community was in mourning. Posterity alone can adequately pay homage to her services and the historic role that she played in the aftermath of the passing of Shoghi Effendi. The start of the third millennium also saw the completion of the buildings of the Ark on Mount Carmel and the terraces adorning the Shrine of the Bab. The Centre for the Study of the Texts and the extension of the Archives building were followed by the completion of the International Teaching Centre. What a joyous occasion it was for the invited Continental Councillors and their auxiliary boards from 172 countries of the world to meet and celebrate this important milestone with members of the Universal House of Justice and the International Teaching Centre. Coinciding with these celebrations and consultations, the Universal House of Justice provided further overall guidance in a series of historic messages to the Baha'i world. It announced a succession of teaching plans, beginning with the 5-year plan of Rezvan 2001. It also re-emphasized the continuing dual role of teaching and protection to be carried out by the institution of the councillors.
With a spirit of exaltation, we are moved to announce to you the faith of Baha'u'llah now enters the 5th epoch of its formative age.
The magnificent celebrations of the completion of the terraces adorning Mount Carmel took place in May 2001 in the presence of the last 2 remaining hands of the cause, remnants of the precious gift left to us by Shoghi Effendi. They and thousands of others, representing every national Baha'i community in the world, were in awe of the magnificence and beauty surrounding the Shrine of the Bab, as the oratorio of the Tablet of Carmel, put to music and performed by world-class musicians, immersed them in spiritual joy.
Salutations, the fairest.
This original work came to a climax with the inaugural illumination of the terraces, light upon light, just as Abdul Baha had predicted. all this was in honor of the beloved Bab who had suffered the darkness of the mountain prison of Marku in Persia and had later undergone martyrdom. It was also a celebration of a community that has gone from strength to strength under the constant and unerring guidance of the Universal House of Justice, a community that has come of age.
It was in the Siyachal, the black pit of Tehran, that these verses were intoned by the rows of prisoners who accompanied Baha'u'llah. God is sufficient unto me. He verily is the all-sufficing. In response, another row would reply, "In him let the trusting trust." How much has changed since those early days when the faith was limited to Persia? Despite continuing persecutions over the years, the faith has continued to evolve, breaking its bounds in fulfillment of the prophetic words of Baha'u'llah. Should they attempt to conceal its light on the continent, it will assuredly rear its head in the midmost heart of the ocean, and raising its voice proclaim, "I am the life-giver of the world." With the passing of these last remaining precious souls, this unique institution of the Hands of the Cause of God becomes a part of history and our common heritage. The remarkable story of the Hands began with the 4 heroic souls nominated during the lifetime of the Manifestation of God, followed by posthumous referral to a select band of heroes as Hands by Abdul Baha, and continued thereafter by the appointment of Hands during the lifetime of Shoghi Effendi, Baha'u'llah's great-grandson, beginning with those honored on their passing and culminating in the elevation of individuals to this rank during their own lifetime. Never before have a select band of heroes and heroines been so intimately involved with the progress of their religion, so actively served at the vanguard of its development, and so selflessly devoted to the service of their Lord. Never before has a group of people separated by time and place so faithfully carried out the instant, exact, and complete wishes of their beloved leader. They have obeyed the calling to diffuse the divine fragrances during their lifetimes, and set such glorious examples on their passing that generations to come will study their lives, analyze their contributions, and emulate their valiant examples. Ours is to pay homage to them and emulate their examples of self-sacrifice, devotion, and service to humanity, and remember the words of the Master, Abdul Baha. I desire distinction for you, but this distinction must not depend upon wealth, not scientific, commercial, industrial distinction. For you I desire spiritual distinction. You must become distinguished for loving humanity, for unity and accord, for love and justice.